You can do whatever you would like. Yay.
I don't know them. I don't know them.
Just get me on the screen. Okay. What? Did you smile? All right. Meg Patton, community advocacy speech. What if I told you that medicine, which is intended to cure and heal, actually kills someone every 19 minutes? According to a study released by the Center for Disease Control in 2012, this is sadly the case. The truth is that prescription drug abuse that are taken incorrectly have many side effects, up to and including thousands of preventable deaths a year. As an Abilenian that went through the public school system, this is a problem that I became personally aware of and feel needs to be brought to light. The misuse of prescription drugs negatively affect the Abilene community. I will prove that prescription drug abuse is in fact a problem, discuss the harm it brings, examine possible barriers to ending it, and suggest potential ways to alleviate the problem. First, I will demonstrate to you the scope of the issue of prescription drug abuse. You probably know that prescription drug abuse is a significant problem. However, what you may not know is that the prevalence in Texas is especially crazy. According to this chart, which was compiled by the Center for Disease Control in 2012, it's called the Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance. These are the numbers of students in these states who have taken prescription drugs without a prescription. As you can see, the numbers range from about 12% to 20% for the average states. However, in Texas, the number of students who take prescription drugs without a prescription is 22.1%. Sadly, Abilene has not escaped this frightening trend. In a 2011 Abilene Reporter News article titled "Prescription Drug Abuse Continues to Pop Up in Unlikely Places," the author, Goldmeyer, interviews Officer Holbrook of the Abilene Police Department Narcotics Division. Holbrook says that case numbers for prescription drug arrests in Abilene have notably increased in the last 5 years. Additionally, Jennifer Jordan, who's been the student council sponsor and teacher for Abilene High School for over 9 years, has said, when asked about the issue of prescription drug abuse, she said, "Yes, the problem of Texas high school students taking prescription drugs is apparent in our district. I hear stories of kids who are prescribed Adderall selling to other students for profit. I can also personally attest to this problem. Going to Abilene High, I knew many kids who would steal prescription drugs from their parents, who would sell them between students or lie to their doctors to get prescriptions. I even knew a kid who would overdose on painkillers in choir and had to be escorted via an emergency medical vehicle." While prescription drugs are an amazing leap of technology for medicine and healing, they're not safe for everyone to take at all times and at all doses. Prescription drug abuse is problematic and harmful to our community. The first way it is problematic is that accidental overdose is a major problem. According to the Drug Policy Alliance, the overdose crisis in Texas is startling. Between 1999 and 2007, overdose in Texas increased by more than 2.5 times. Government officials and the public have largely ignored this hidden crisis. While I don't have specific numbers on overdose in Abilene, I do know that this affects many families and that this problem has not escaped our community. Second, many of the prescription drugs that are taken recreationally are highly addictive. According to the Adderall Abuse and Statistic page of rehabs.com, they say that Adderall is a Schedule II controlled substance. By definition, this means that the drug has a high risk of abuse and dependence. Other prescription drugs taken recreationally, including Xanax, hydrocodone, and other painkillers, are also extremely addictive. Kids may take these drugs and not realize how hooked they're going to get on them. Third, the misuse of prescription drugs, as well as supplying them, carries serious legal consequences. People may do it once and not realize the major impact it will have on their life. From the suppliers to the sellers to the people who take these prescription drugs without being prescribed them by a doctor, this problem hits many levels of our society. While prescription drug abuse is obviously considered problematic, it still exists. This is because there are barriers to solving the problem of prescription drug abuse. One of these barriers may be that it has become common and a funny thing among students. As you can tell by this Twitter page, which is called Adderall Had Me, people take pictures like this person meticulously picking all the seeds off of a strawberry and think that it's funny and post it to this page. Students think that this is a social thing and they take it to be cool or to be like everyone. This picture says, "Adderall had me sorting every penny in my wallet in chronological order and then trying to take an artsy pic of it." Students do this as a social thing too, and it's become funny and it's accepted on social media like this. Additionally, people who abuse prescription drugs don't always fit the profile of normal drug abusers. In Goldmeyer's article, physician Anupam Jinnah is quoted saying, "Prescription drug abusers can pose unique challenges to physicians because patients who abuse these medications may not fit clinical stereotypes of drug abusers. These abusers fit the profile of smart students trying to get extra studying in, or wealthy families, or there's a whole range of people who take them, and they're not always easy to spot, so it can be difficult to stop. Prescription drugs are also easily available. They're even available online. Dr. Jinnah is also quoted in Goldmeyer's article saying, "Controlled prescription drugs are easily purchased over the internet without a prescription. People don't even have to see a doctor to get these drugs. They can order them online before the websites can be taken down. They're also legal, so people have them. People who may genuinely need these drugs may be in a financial crisis and sell them to make money, and we can't stop that because these people genuinely need the drugs. Lastly, doctors may prescribe them loosely. Personally, for my own research, I Googled how to get your doctor to prescribe you Adderall and found tons of advice on specific key phrases you can say so that your doctor will give it to you even if you don't need it. While this is obviously a widespread problem, there are things we can do to alleviate this issue within our community. Ending prescription drug abuse in our community requires steps on several levels. Most important for the local level is awareness. There are many schools in Abilene. There are over 4 middle schools, 3 public high schools, and 4 universities. There are campaigns against illegal drugs at all of these schools, and those are very common. However, there's not so much about prescription drug abuse. According to Jennifer Jordan, the student council sponsor for Abilene High, when asked if any school anti-drug campaigns are geared towards prescription drug abuse, she said, "Not really, but we probably should." At Abilene High, I never heard about the problem of prescription drug abuse. I knew that people were doing it, but no one told me the harms it could bring or the serious problems it carried. An awareness campaign would be a cheap and relatively easy way to keep possible prescription drug abusers from trying it in the first place. Of course, this wouldn't stop those who are already heavily involved. A more severe impact would be larger scale and much more expensive. These examples from the Center for Disease Control explain some ways that we could stop prescription drug abuse on a larger scale, including drug overdose reduction acts caused by Congress and passing restrictions on supply, which would make doctors and patients more liable for the drugs they take. Passing medical amnesty laws would include keeping 911 callers about overdose from being charged with penalties for the drugs so that people would be less likely to not call to keep someone from dying. Ending prescription drug abuse is a daunting task, but tackled as a community effort, we have a real shot at alleviating the damage in Abilene. I hope you've come to realize the problems, harms, and barriers that prescription drug abuse poses in our community. I've demonstrated the prevalence it has in this area, the major destruction it can cause, and some reasons that it is hard to stop. Despite all these negative things, I hope you are positively inspired to bust the myth that prescription drug abuse is not harmful because it is medicine. As a community, we can rise up and inform the vulnerable amidst us in order to mitigate the terrible loss of life, talent, and possibility that prescription drug abuse causes. Thank you.